Okay, everybody, so we're going to talk a little bit about the Sun Tzu method. Obviously, Sun Tzu was the guy who wrote The Art of War. Everybody's probably pretty familiar with that at this point, and people make a big deal out of this, but it's actually so simple. So I'm going to give you a brief rundown on this. I'm enclosing in the product also a book on the Sun Tzu method. It'll be here in the folder with this video, so you might want to take a look at that at your leisure. Take some time, read through that material, and I think you'll get a better understanding of it. But basically, Sun Tzu can be reduced to a very simple 4-step process. It could be a 5 or 6-step process. I prefer to frame it in just a 4-step process. So let's talk about each element in the process very quickly. First, we have the mission. The mission is just what you would think it is. It's what you plan to do. It's the strategy. It's the plan. It's the goal that you want to accomplish. That's really probably the best way to describe the mission. It's just the goal that you're trying to accomplish. For example, let's say your goal is that you want to lose 50 pounds. So 50 pounds within the next year is your mission. The next thing we want to look at are the environment, and that's going to be two different types of environmental situations that we need to look at and analyze. So with environmental analysis, we have two different things we need to look at. We need to look at the internal environment, and we need to look at the external environment. So the internal environment, for this example, I want to lose 50 pounds within a year. You want to look, obviously, just internally. What are the things within me that are preventing me from losing this weight? What are the things that are causing me to maintain this weight or gain this weight? And then you want to look at the external factors. It could be anything. What is my wife, or what are my friends, or whoever prepares the food for me, preparing for me? Am I in an environment that's conducive to losing weight? And so on. Very simple. Once we understand the mission, we want to do an environmental analysis of the internal factors and the external factors that are related to the mission in your environment. Internal, more often than not, if you're dealing with a big organization, you're going to look at the internal factors within the organization itself. For personal goals and personal goal setting and things like that, you're going to be looking at the internal environment of really your headspace. And external, it really depends on the situation, but those are just the external factors around you, which either prevent you from reaching the goal, or have caused you not to reach the goal, or which would be obstructions or obstacles or anything like that. The next step we want to hit is formulation. So formulation is a 3-step process. We need to know our goal, which is very similar to the mission. We need to know our strategy, which is how we're going to accomplish the goal. And we need to know the program, which are tactics. So the strategy is the overall plan to get you to the goal. Tactics are the specific steps that you take to achieve that goal. So we want to formulate the goal, the strategy, and the program. The next step is implementation. This is just taking action. And those of you who know me, who are familiar with me, who are familiar with my work, know that taking action and implementing and being very decisive are things that I really believe in, things that I talk about quite often. So after you've formulated your goal, your strategy, and your tactics, you need to implement and start taking action. The final step is feedback and control. You want to measure the results that you've gotten. You want to interpret those results, and you need to make corrections based upon those results. So that's really a 3-step process as well. After you've implemented, after you've taken action upon your strategies and tactics, you need to immediately start looking at those and whether they're providing good benefits, the benefits that you expected, or maybe less than good benefits. You need to be able to interpret that data, and then you need to be able to start doing some course correction. And then we go back to up here, back to leadership. In an organization, that would be you or whoever maybe is leading, obviously. For personal type of goals and things like that, of course, it's going to be you. So we're going to take the results and the interpretation of those results. We're going to make corrections based on that, and that all goes back to the leadership, who in turn might need to change the mission. So it's this flow, this process. It's really a Sun Tzu flow, a Sun Tzu process. I prefer to think of it in terms of a flow, very cyclical, very circular. The mission, environmental analysis, formulation, implementation, feedback and control, back to leadership, back to the mission. So you're always taking a look at what you're doing. You're always analyzing the data from your action and determining whether or not that action is bearing or yielding the appropriate results or the results you expected. And then you make changes to the strategy and the tactics based upon that. And that in turn might lead to changes in the mission itself. So it's very, very, very simple. The whole Sun Tzu flow, the whole Sun Tzu process. The mission, what am I trying to do? Environmental analysis. What are the internal things that are going to be hindrances or constraints? What are the external things that are going to be hindrances or constraints? Formulation, my goal, my strategy, how I'm going to do it, and my program, which are really tactics. Implementation, how am I going to do it? And then immediately take decisive action, make a decision, take action. Don't overthink it. This is a problem that a lot of people get into, is analysis paralysis, thinking too much. You want to, once you have your mission, your goal in mind, you want to go ahead and formulate a quick strategy, formulate some quick tactics, and then immediately start taking action. This step of taking action is generally what's going to separate successful people from unsuccessful people. If you get bogged down in hyper-analytical thinking, you're never going to accomplish anything. You need to just make sure you go ahead and take the action. So you implement, you take action, and then you get to the feedback and control steps. You want to measure the results. Okay, it's week 1. How much weight have I lost? You want to interpret the results. Why have I lost this much weight? What are the internal and external factors? What do I need to think about adjusting? And then you need to make corrections. And then if there's somebody else, for example, that you're dealing with, that would go back to leadership, and they or you might readjust the mission appropriately. So you might say, well, you know what? I lost a lot more weight than I expected in this first week. I think that I can lose 50 pounds in 6 months. So then we change the overall mission itself. I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 6 months. And then we need to go down through this process again, or the flow again. So it's very, very simple. Sun Tzu is super easy. You don't need to think a whole lot about it. Obviously, there are different things that he talks about in The Art of War that you might want to pay attention to. There are nuances and subtleties that that you'll want to pay attention to and really learn and focus on. But all in all, Sun Tzu and The Art of War really boils down to this basic 4-step process of environmental analysis, formulation, implementation, and then feedback and control. And if you understand these 4 steps, environmental analysis, that's internal and external; formulation, that's strategies, tactics, and plans; and implementation, taking action; and then feedback and control, that's just measuring. It's very, very simple. You can apply this process to almost anything in your life, almost anything you might ever deal with, and I think you'll find that it's very easy. I'm going to include a copy of this this entire mind map in the program for you, so you can print this out. I think this is something that you should probably print out and put on your refrigerator, in front of your computer, anywhere where you might see it often, so you really internalize this process. Once you understand the Sun's of process, the Sun's of flow, I like doing this, obviously. You can apply it to anything in your life, and you'll see yourself making much better decisions, setting much better goals, and attaining and reaching those goals much more easily. So I hope this helps out. I really suggest that you read the book that I'm including on this. I just wanted to do a quick video to basically give you a breakdown of the whole process. It's very, very, very simple, and I think if you think about it and apply this to your normal life, you're really going to gain quite a bit of benefit. So this is Zhao Anshen. Peace.